I learned this the hard way. I booked what I thought was the perfect ocean view cabin, and it turned out to be one of the worst cabins on the entire ship. If you've ever been kept awake by scraping deck chairs, thumping footsteps, or mysterious noises through the walls, you already know how fast a bad cabin can ruin your cruise. Most passengers make the same cabin mistakes every single year, because cruise lines won't tell you which rooms come with noise, vibration, terrible locations, or non-stop foot traffic. But after countless cruises and conversations with crew members, I've uncovered the exact cabins you should never book, and why they're quietly sold to unsuspecting travelers. Today, you'll learn how to avoid the noisy cabins, the vibrating cabins, the connecting door nightmares, and the great deal rooms that look good on paper but destroy your sleep. If you want more insider cruise tips the lines never tell you, hit subscribe so you never book the wrong cabin again. Cruise mistake number 6. Booking cabins directly below the pool deck or Lido deck. Here's what happens in these floating disaster zones. Every morning at sunrise, deck crews start moving heavy pool furniture, dragging metal chairs across the deck directly above your head. The sound is like a construction site that never sleeps, and it continues throughout the day as passengers move furniture around. But here's what most people don't realize. The noise doesn't stop there. Pool decks are also where late-night parties happen, where live music continues until midnight or later, and where cleaning crews use pressure washers starting at 5 in the morning. The crew members know this, which is why they call these cabins the insomnia rooms, but they're not allowed to warn passengers during the booking process because it would hurt sales. Here's your specific action plan. When reviewing deck plans, identify the pool deck level and immediately eliminate any cabin directly underneath. Look for deck names like Lido, Pool, or Sun Deck, then check the deck below. This simple cruise hack can save you from 7 nights of torture and potentially hundreds of dollars in sleep medication or spa treatments you'll need to recover. I witnessed this firsthand on a Caribbean cruise where a family of 4 booked a connecting cabin setup below the main pool. By day 3, the parents were exhausted, the kids were cranky, and they ended up spending over $300 on spa treatments just to find quiet spaces to rest. The cruise line offered to move them, but only to another problematic cabin, which brings us to our next mistake. Now, this next secret is a game changer that even seasoned cruisers sometimes miss. Cruise mistake number 5. Selecting cabins near elevator banks and stairwells. These hidden cruise secrets revolve around constant foot traffic and mechanical noise that never stops. Modern cruise ships are floating cities with thousands of passengers moving between decks every hour, and elevators run continuously with mechanical humming, dings, and the sound of doors opening and closing every few minutes. The areas near stairwells are equally problematic because they're emergency routes where crew members run during drills, often at ungodly hours. These cruise line secrets aren't shared because elevator-adjacent cabins are often sold as premium locations due to convenience, commanding higher prices despite being noise nightmares. Your action plan here requires studying the deck plan like a detective. Identify all elevator symbols and stairwell markings, then create an invisible buffer zone of at least 2 cabins in every direction. This cruise tip alone can save you from constant sleep interruption and the need to request cabin changes that may not be available or could cost hundreds in upgrade fees. A perfect example happened on my last Mediterranean cruise. A retired couple booked what they thought was a convenient cabin near the elevators on deck 7. Within 24 hours, they were begging guest services for a room change. The mechanical noise was so constant that even wearing earplugs didn't help. They ended up paying a $400 upgrade fee to move to a quieter location, money that could have been saved with proper planning. But here's what really shocked me about the next cabin location mistake. Cruise mistake number 4. Booking cabins on decks with crew quarters or service areas. This is one of those cruise crew secrets that industry insiders know, but passengers rarely discover until it's too late. Crew decks are operational 24 hours a day, with workers coming and going at all hours, laundry operations running continuously, and service elevators constantly moving supplies. The crew members are specifically trained not to mention which decks house operational areas during cabin selection, because these rooms are often sold at standard prices despite the constant disturbance. What makes this particularly devious is that these operational areas aren't clearly marked on passenger deck plans, making them nearly impossible to identify without insider knowledge. Here's your detective work. Research your specific ship online before booking and look for deck-by-deck breakdowns that identify crew areas. Most ships have crew quarters on lower decks, typically decks 2 through 4, and service areas scattered throughout. Avoid any cabin within 2 decks of these operational zones to prevent the constant noise of industrial washing machines, food service, and crew shift changes. The money saved here goes beyond just comfort. I've seen passengers spend their entire cruise budget on excursions and dining packages trying to stay out of their noisy cabins. One couple on an Alaska cruise told me they spent an extra $800 on shore excursions just to avoid being in their cabin near the crew laundry facility. They could have booked a suite for the price difference of choosing correctly from the start. Now, this next mistake is so common that cruise lines actually count on passengers making this error. Cruise mistake number 3, selecting cabins near children's areas, teen clubs, or family facilities. These zones become absolute chaos during sea days and evening hours when parents drop off energetic kids and teenagers for supervised activities. The sound carries through walls, floors, and ceilings, creating an environment that's impossible to relax in. But here's the hidden truth. These facilities often extend beyond their marked boundaries. Kids' clubs typically have outdoor play areas, splash zones, and activity spaces that aren't clearly shown on deck plans. Teen areas often include arcade games, dance floors, and movie theaters that operate until late-night hours with bass-heavy sound systems. The cruise lines deliberately underplay the noise impact because families represent their highest spending demographic, and they need places to put these activity centers. Crew members working these areas wear noise-canceling headphones for a reason, but passengers booking nearby cabins have no such protection. Your specific action involves identifying all family-oriented facilities on the deck plan, then expanding your avoidance zone to include at least 3 cabins in every direction, including above and below decks. Look for kids' clubs, teen centers, arcade areas, mini-golf, rock climbing walls, and any outdoor activity spaces. This strategy can save you hundreds in potential cabin change fees and preserve your sanity. I remember a honeymoon couple who unknowingly booked next to a teen disco that operated until 2 in the morning every night. They spent their entire cruise budget trying to find quiet spaces elsewhere on the ship, including premium restaurant reservations and spa treatments, just to escape the noise. Their romantic getaway turned into an expensive lesson in cruise deck plan mistakes. But here's where things get really interesting with our next revelation. Cruise mistake number 2, booking cabins on the first or last passenger deck. These locations seem logical, offering potential deals or unique positioning, but they're actually some of the most problematic spaces on any ship. The lowest passenger decks sit close to the waterline, making them susceptible to motion sickness, engine vibration, and the constant sound of water rushing past the hull. Top passenger decks have their own nightmare scenarios. They're directly below operational areas, like the sports deck, where crew members move heavy equipment starting before sunrise. These decks also experience the most motion during rough seas, amplifying seasickness for sensitive passengers. The temperature extremes are more pronounced, and elevator service is often slower due to distance from main passenger areas. Here's what the crew knows but won't tell you. These extreme deck locations are where they place passengers who book at the last minute or choose the cheapest available options. The cruise lines know these cabins are problematic, which is why they're often discounted or thrown into package deals to get rid of inventory. Your action plan requires finding the sweet spot in the middle decks of the ship, typically between 30 to 60% up from the waterline. This positioning minimizes motion, reduces noise from operational areas above, and provides better access to ship amenities. The money saved by avoiding motion sickness medications, missed meals due to seasickness, and potential medical consultations can easily exceed several $100s per passenger. A family I met on a Baltic cruise learned this lesson the hard way. They booked the lowest available deck to save money, but ended up spending over $600 on motion sickness remedies, missed prepaid excursions due to seasickness, and room service charges because they couldn't make it to the dining rooms. They calculated that booking a proper cabin would have cost less than their attempts to manage the consequences. Now, here's the absolute worst cruise cabin mistake that could destroy your entire vacation. Cruise mistake number 1. Booking interior cabins near the anchor or tender operations area. This is the ultimate nightmare scenario that combines multiple problems into one catastrophic experience. When ships dock or anchor, these operations involve massive mechanical systems, heavy chains, and industrial equipment operating at all hours without warning. The anchor system alone creates vibrations that travel through the entire forward section of the ship, accompanied by grinding metal sounds that can wake passengers from deep sleep. Tender operations, used when ships can't dock directly at ports, involve small boat launches with diesel engines, loading procedures, and passenger announcements starting before sunrise. But here's the cruise industry's best-kept secret. These operational areas aren't clearly marked on booking websites, and customer service representatives are specifically trained not to mention proximity to these systems unless directly asked. The cruise lines know these cabins are essentially unusable during port operations, but they continue selling them at standard interior cabin prices. The crew members have a nickname for passengers in these cabins, the Walking Dead, because they stumble around the ship exhausted from constant sleep disruption. Housekeeping staff report that these cabins use more complimentary earplugs and sleeping aids than anywhere else on the ship. Your detective work here requires serious research. Study the ship's deck plan and identify the forward-most interior cabins, typically on lower decks. Cross-reference this with online ship reviews and cruise forums, where passengers specifically mention anchor noise or tender operations. Avoid any cabin in the forward 20% of the ship if you're booking interior accommodations. The money saved by avoiding this mistake is substantial. Passengers in these problematic cabins often miss prepaid shore excursions due to exhaustion, spend money on sleep aids and medical consultations, and frequently end up paying for spa treatments or premium dining just to find quiet spaces to recover. I've documented cases where passengers spent over $1,000 trying to manage the consequences of this single booking mistake. The reality is that these cruise mistakes to avoid aren't just minor inconveniences. They represent systematic industry practices where cruise lines profit from passenger ignorance while crew members watch helplessly as guests suffer through preventable problems. If this insider information helped you avoid a costly cruise cabin mistake, make sure to subscribe for more cruise secrets that the industry doesn't want you to discover. Next week, I'm exposing the hidden charges that can double your cruise cost, including fees that crew members say passengers never see coming until it's too late. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these cruise insider tips surprised you most. Did you learn something that could save your next cruise vacation? Or have you experienced one of these cabin nightmares yourself? Your stories help other cruisers avoid these same expensive mistakes. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to cruise planning. And now you're armed with the cruise crew secrets that can transform your next voyage from a potential disaster into the relaxing experience you deserve.